Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this episode 24 here on Bloomfield with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, it's just after sunrise, March 2nd. We are actually on our farm account, not our home account. Now I do have a few things to bring you up to speed on, but what we're trying to get done here is get as much crop in the ground as we can before the rain hits. We're expecting rain about mid-morning, so I will head down to the farm with our John Deere here. We needed to load up our planter, and I will bring you up to date on what has transpired since we were together last while we're working down there. So we'll see you in just a minute. Well, we're all set to load up our seeder. First of all, I'll show you all our equipment that's sitting here. Our roller, our potato planter, our slurry spreader, the lime spreader here we bought outright, and then the other pieces other than our seeder are sitting in this shed. So like I mentioned, the potato planter is now on the lease program along with our planter sitting there. So let's get this seed loaded up. Now I think we'll do this from outside the cab because I do have a little concern here. I couldn't open the cover on that seeder without having it unfolded, and I'm not sure we're going to have the reach actually with our little John Deere to lift these seed boxes into place. We might have to use the more... Oh, forgot to unstrap them. Whoopsie. Yeah, we might have to use the more cheaty method. Actually, you know what? If I come, I'm going to back this up just a little bit. If I come at it from this way, you might reach. I like using these seed boxes because you don't need forks. They attach directly to your front loader, telehandler, whatever you're using, so it makes them very easy to deal with. Come on. A little sharper angle, possibly. We might need a telehandler for this operation. Oh no, there it went. It's going. Cool. That's good news because I wanted to use our John Deere for now, kind of like a seed tender if we need to. I'll just drop this one here for now. These were the two seed boxes that TFS left behind, and I just had them filled. We have one of these too at the home place, but kind of keep it around there for filling up our greenhouse. Oops, that was kind of hard on the new tractor. We might invest in a couple more of these because I think it would take 3 of them to fill the seeder completely. There we go. Now I'm thinking that should be enough seed for what we have to do today. We can put our canola and our barley in. That can just sit there for now. Might as well just leave it unfolded. We're not going very far. So, like I said, I rented all that equipment, or leased all that equipment from Ben, and boy, it added up in a hurry. So we owe Ben now $426,000. I wonder if he had signed up for that much. So our quarterly payment we need to make is $12,000 $797. Now this is the only piece of gear where we're kind of running very close to the horsepower limit, so we'll see how it works out for us. Well, so far so good. So I did sell another, what was it, $18,000 worth of pig food, and I bought 13,500 liters of canola and put it in our pig food production, and it's running. So that'll use up pretty much all our stock materials for pig food, and it will give us some pig food to sell. Now, of course, we could sell more pig food if we got rid of our pigs, or got rid of some of our pigs, I should say, and kind of controlled their population, which we might do actually. Now we're going to turn around here and nip it over the corner of the neighbor's field here, but I'm sure he won't mind. It's full of rocks anyway, so he can't care that much. So maybe what we'll do for now is at the farm limit our pigs to 100, and then everything over and above that we'll start selling off the more mature ones, just to take the pressure off of pig food for now. Once we are in a position where we can expand and buy another field where we could get more raw materials for the pig food, then we could increase our numbers again. Now I could have bought like the tanker, slurry tanker outright, but I decided to hang on to our money because we're really good for the planting side, but we need to deal with harvest, and that's going to be very expensive. So I thought I'd hang on to some funds just in case something came up in the used market that we could take advantage of. So that's why I did that. Well, this tractor doesn't seem to be having any problem with this cedar. Of course, it's pretty flat here. But that's the nice thing, we went with a larger cedar, so we should have no trouble beating the rain, I don't think, with getting our canola and our barley in. We might not get our potatoes in, but we can always try. It's not a very big patch. And we have a larger cedar now. I'm just going to go down this other side here. Now for the home place, we went up to Neil's and we bought, what was it, $3,500 worth of barley. That gave us 6,000 liters for our chickens, so they should be good for a little while. And I think that brings you up to speed on what went on yesterday. As you recall, it was a pretty rainy day. Now we do need to roll this field. We just need to roll it this month. So we've got a few days to get that done. So if we're in a position, I'll head to try and get the potatoes in before I worry about rolling this. Now, looking at the property maps when we were purchasing the place, I discovered that this field and the field that we're actually heading to were actually joined together at one time and were one large field. So that would be nice to do again, to join it back up. But we would need a couple other fields then, one for an extra field of canola and a barley field. But that's kind of the goal. Once we get the equipment situated, work towards buying a couple more fields so we can join this into one large cornfield and have a larger barley field and an extra canola field. That'll enable us to increase our pig population and likely give us more pig food to sell, hopefully. Well, so far I'm thinking the 6-meter cedar was a good idea. We'll throw a worker on here actually, and then we can kind of take a look at from other angles of how this looks. Well, it was a long time coming, but I mean that's some nice looking farm equipment. We've come a long ways. It's taken us a while, and I guess we can't brag too much because it's all debt. Well, I guess the tractor we own, don't we? So, it's not, oh shoot. Oh well, I'll come back and clean that up. Well, it did increase our depth of going with that 6-meter, but I think that was a good decision, especially in a situation like this where we're trying to beat the rain. Should be here in 2 hours. But this is knocking this field off pretty quick. Yes, sir. Well, excuse me, I think I'll leave you there and I'll carry on and get this barley in and the canola in, and we'll see if we can't get our potatoes in today. So I'll catch up with you then when we're set to do the potatoes. So either be today or early tomorrow. Well, the canola and the barley is in, but we had no chance of beating the rain to get our potatoes in. And we had to actually jump ahead a couple days to get away from the rain. But it's the 4th now, mid-month, and we should be able to get our potatoes in. The forecast is for a nice, clear day. But I was able to get our gear all set up and ready to go. I really wish I'd written down how much seed we ended up using on that field. I got a feeling we've got more than enough, but that's all right. We'll need some more next year. Now, one thing I did that I kind of regret doing is I sold off all our itsy bitsy equipment here. So if we do end up having to revert back just to the home place here, I got rid of all my Kijiji treasures. Kind of now regret doing that, but I don't think there's much of a risk now, especially with the deal we struck with Ben. This may take a while to claw our way out of debt is all. Now this job should go much faster now. Is that actually? Oh yeah, it is. Didn't look like it in the shadows there, but it's planted. Now I do still need to roll those other 2 fields. We may get to that today after the potato planting is done. We had lots of seed. We didn't even use 1,000 liters putting in our canola and our barley. So we should have enough, I'm thinking, to do our cornfield as well. We'll just have to unload the seeder and put it into the planter. But that's something we'll be worrying about next month. Now, I'm going to overlap this a little bit. We'll throw a worker on so we can take a look at this going down the field at some different angles. Because I can't drive worth a darn unless I'm looking where I'm going. Now we do have enough horsepower that we could have purchased a 6-meter one of these, but I really don't think it's necessary for this small field. And at this point I don't have any plans on expanding our potato acreage. I suppose if we get enough barley and canola and corn that we need more potatoes, we might potentially. But this is doing us just fine for now. Now I realized after it was too late to do anything about it, I actually should have switched the barley and the canola field, because we have just about double the amount of barley we need and not near enough canola, and I could have switched, put the barley in the small field and the canola in the large field, but I was already like halfway through planting the canola when I realized that. But that is something we could think about doing next year. What we'll do when we harvest the barley is we'll put it all into one of our silos here, and then once we know how much canola and corn we have, then we'll put just the required amount, because like we do need some for our chickens, so it won't hurt for us to have some barley on hand. And we might actually be able to keep just about all of that barley, I'm thinking, or pretty close to it. That's why I said it could have got away with a little field, but didn't think of it soon enough. So it seems like this 200 horsepower tractor, 205 technically, is actually going to do us pretty well for our farm as it stands. I was thinking that we might need to look at doing an upgrade, fairly quickly, but I'm not thinking that we do. What are we? Oh, we're about a third done, I'd say. Going to be lots of time left today to go and roll that field. And that will be our chores for this month. I'll watch him make one more pass here, and then I'll take back over and leave you there and bring you back in, and when we're ready to roll, we can check out our roller in action. It'll be next month before we need to use the last piece of new equipment. Well, sorry, there'll be two, won't there? It'll be the corn planter and the slurry tanker. And I hope my memory served me correct, because I'm thinking we could, one tanker load would do this field. And you know what? We really don't need to throw slurry onto the grass. I mean, we could just fertilize it with the barley and the canola. Especially if we're short of slurry. And I was thinking some more. I think we will kind of cap our pigs at the farm at 100 just for this year, so we can maximize our pig food sales, because that's where a lion's share of our revenue is coming from, if we're honest. But I looked right now, the most mature pigs are at 50% reproduction, so I'll wait till they give birth, and as soon as they give birth, then I'll sell them off and get us down to 100. All right, well, I'll leave you there. I'll carry on and finish this up, and then we'll move down to the main farm and we'll get set up to do some rolling. So we'll check that out. So we'll see you then. Well, we finished our potato planting. It's not even 9 o'clock. We've got lots of daylight hours left. So I'm down here at the main farm, set up to roll. Now this is probably the most oversized piece of equipment that we bought, but it was a brand that Ben wanted to promote, and well within our horsepower range, and in the overall scheme of things wasn't incredibly expensive. So one piece of kit that as we expand we probably won't need to upgrade, so that's alright. Now while I was down here, I checked on our pig food production. It is finished, and we have 130,000 liters of pig food in there right now. And I did record what we have currently in our pen with the 105 pigs that we have, and I will at this time tomorrow check what that amount has been reduced to, and from there I can calculate how much pig food we're going to need until we're able to make some more next year. And that will let us know then what we have available to sell. And if we sell it this month, we'll still get peak price. So I think I'll probably do that and sell off all our excess, so we have those funds available for us when it comes to buying harvesting equipment. Now if we're looking at a harvester, we may not have all of what is required for a harvester, but even if we can make a large down payment, that'll really help. Right now we are actually on the home farm account. That's why the dollars are down a little bit. I probably should have jumped to the main farm account, but I was on here to do the potato planting and just never moved back. So other than the sale of the pig food, this is the last chore we have on our farm this month. So once we get this done, we can just, let's say, I'll sell the pig food and then we can bounce ahead to next month where we'll have more fun and games. I think we should have, I never actually looked, but I imagine we'll have grass work next month, and of course we'll have our corn planting to do. I'll throw a worker on here just so we can take a look, I should say, at this piece of gear in action from some different vantage points. May not be John Deere, but still looks pretty good in the field, I have to say. I know there is a trick to have the worker actually be your avatar. I've kind of forgotten what that was. I should go back and look it up because really should have our avatar in there instead of some random worker. It's the two fields across there where we're looking are the ones I kind of have my eye on for expansion. And like I said previously, it's going to be a long time, I think, before we need another potato field. Because remember, every harvest we're selling potatoes off, so we can create quite a bit more pig food before we run out of potatoes on our current field. Now I was thinking about all that manure that we're starting to collect. I'm wondering, I'm kind of contemplating, let's put it that way, throwing a little manure on the fields just as a to boost it before we actually have to use the precision farming fertilization to top it off, just to save a little bit on fertilizer. Because as you may recall, Ben had that manure spreader available, the used one, and of course we could also utilize the slurry too for that same purpose. So we could throw a little base of slurry and or manure down before we throw our actual fertilizer on. Something I'm going to give a little bit more thought to. I suppose technically if we were going to do that, we should have done it before we actually seeded. Maybe we could do that on our cornfield. Might be an idea. Only a couple more passes and we'll be done on this field. Good view across the fields here on Bloomfield. You can see it's not perfectly flat. There is some rolling hills to it as you look across. Just happens to be fairly flat here where our farm is. But there's definitely some hills over that direction. Well, I think I'll take over there. And I think that is the episode. But I am kind of, as I was watching, thinking about it, and maybe we'll start next episode by throwing some either manure or slurry onto our cornfield. I'll check the actual volumes of each that we have available. The trick is not to throw too much on, but enough so that it reduces our demand on chemical fertilizer. Because as we continue to grow, as with our pigs, we'll have more and more of that product available, and it would be a cost savings to us. But I think that is the episode there. We got to see a lot of our new equipment in action, and the last pieces we'll get to see next month. So I think that's where I'll bring you in. Unless something unforeseen happens. So if you're still with me, really appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, I encourage you to hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget about that old notification bell if you want to know when other content like this lands. But for this episode here on Bloomfield, it's Farmer Murphy signing off.